All right, so we got a guy struggling, um, and I'm making this video because this is a really easy setup. I've already got a video on how to do this, but this happened today. It happens almost every day, on almost every time frame. These are 1 minute Heikin-Ashi. You can use whatever candle you want. I like the Heikin-Ashi because it shows me momentum shifts. What do I mean by a momentum shift? Well, this is coming down, and then this shifts green and pushes up. Momentum shift. That's it. All right. It's as simple as that. And then you get a pullback right here, and then it pushes up again. It's that simple. But how do you actually trade this? Let's look at what this was. This is a short trade, right? And I only do shorts like this. This is how I get into those really fast crashing shorts. Here it is. And what do I look for? And I'm just going to show you just from pure candle support and resistance, and then we're going to turn on our indicators and use them to assist us in determining if we should try to take the trade or not, right? So we still got to understand just a little bit about price action, support and resistance, just the basics. And this is the setup right here. So what are we looking for? We're looking for a trend breakdown. We're looking for support to be created. Right? So here's our trend breakdown. We're creating support, right? And this looks like a good area. We're getting some bounces here, comes under, turns into resistance here, comes up, crosses over. So that this is a good area, right? And obviously we know it dropped, but this is the trade I take. So I'm showing you how to do it. We're not looking at, I'm showing you how to take it. If you don't back test knowing what price did, then how are you ever going to understand the way it moves, and how are you ever going to be able to do this if you don't know what price does after certain things happen? So there you go. Now this is the trade right here. We're looking for this short right here. And it doesn't have to be a really big move. Like, this is 300 ticks. This is massive. You don't even have to come to this low. You just need to grab some of this right here and be happy about it, right? Now let's turn on some of our tools. So here's trend shift right here. And I'm going to put on replay mode now. And there's some things that have to happen in order for this to be validated. All right, so let's turn off the drawings, or get rid of the drawings. I'm gonna get rid of this volume right here for a minute because I just want you to see what's going on. The first thing that has to happen is we have to get our trend break down. So we have to get a trend break down. Well, here it is right here, and it's telling you there's the trend break down, right? There isn't one here, there's one here that broke right here. And then the next thing that has to happen is we have to have a trend break up, right? So we're getting a trend break down, trend break back up, and then what do? You draw your box. You're drawing your support right here, because that's why this broke trend up. We're drawing our support, right? And then we look left, make sure it makes sense. It makes sense to me, right? And then what do we do next? Well, this right here is trapping buyers to push up. Okay, that's what we're hoping is going to happen. So what do we want to see? We want to see price break trend back down. There it is. Look at that. And then we want to see it bust through the support, and then we short that. Now, you can turn on candle coloring, and it will help you determine when to get into the trade. Look at how that just changed color. There you go. There's your short, your stop loss. Look at that line right there. Oh, it's so beautiful. Come to the low, right? And we're trailing. I don't know why I said trailing. I'm not trailing this, but yeah, there you go. And there's your trade. Now this is a setup that I look for every single day, and you'll find it on every single time frame. I trade it on 15-second candles all the time, right? So I obviously I'm going to change my settings and trend shift, and don't be so wrapped up in settings and stuff. Just change the settings around until it looks like it makes sense, and you can actually take the trade. So here's one Nah, that's not a really good example. This is really choppy. We need in session. You need some volume. You can't be doing this stuff when there's no volume. It doesn't work. Nothing works when there's no volume. It's just going to do whatever it's going to do. All right, so here's an example of a failed setup right here. So we have our trend breakdown, right? Right here. So we have our trend breakdown and we have our trend breakup. So we draw our zone. Right? And does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. All right, cool. Now we're waiting for price to bust underneath it. Right? And it just never does. See why those confluences are going to keep you out of trouble if you use all of them together? Now, if you start adding in more tools, you're going to have even more confluences, but I don't want to confuse you where you just never get into a trade. That's a problem too. But if you add in like edge pulse, you'll start seeing the dots. Oh, there's some dots there. I need to change this back to 5 minutes. I had this on 5 minutes when I'm doing the 1 minute version. I'm on a 1 minute candle. So, oh, look, we have a red dot that's showing up over here. And then we get our breakdown and then we get our support, right? Because we pushed up, so we know that's the end of it and that's our support. And then we get a breakdown again. Well, what is it doing? This is pushing into the zone, into this threshold down here on the edge pulse, red. Right? What does that look like as it's happening? Watch. Look at that. See? So now you have all of this happened. You have your blue candles or whatever color you changed them to, whatever you want for bearish. And this has happened right here after you had a red exterior threshold print. Yeah, that's the trade. Now you can do the same thing on smaller time frames like I was saying. You just have to adjust your settings and just do what you think is comfortable. Like just go through the settings, change them around, play with them and find setups, right? And back test them and then go, oh yeah, I like that. Or no, I don't like this. This is too fast for me. Right? Even these ones right here are worth taking because these are, well, if this is in session, no, it's not. Because that would be 40, 80 ticks, right? This one dumped right on the break. So, you know, it doesn't give you the setup, but that's okay. You're not going to always get it. So here's one right here. So you have your trend break, right? They're not always going to look pretty and the same, but you have your trend break down, you trend break up. So what do? You automatically draw your support and resistance. There it is. And then you wait for price to break down, right? And you have it right here. So let's see how many, let's see. There's 20 ticks. It's plenty for a scalp, right? And this one just dumps, but what time of day is it? That's, yeah, it's when you'd be trading right there. This is 120. Okay, here's another example right here. So this breaks out up, comes down, goes up. Now you have your support. You're creating it, and then it dumps. Well, look at your edge pulse. Red dumps. This falls through red right here. So yeah, that's your setup. And then there's 18 points, right? Here's another one that's bigger, but these are 15-second candles. So if you drop down into time, you need to not try to take the run so far. You need to go for just the 20, 30 ticks, right? You need to not be greedy and push it. Now here you go. Breakdown, break up, support created, right? We draw it out. We don't ever come back down. All right, so what do? Well, we can leave that there if you want, or we get a breakdown, break up. Okay, draw our support, right? Like that. There you go. And then what happens? We break down. It breaks down, retest, turns blue and everything. You get the whole 9 yards, everything right there. Well, the first one had your red dot, so that condition was already met. When you use edge pulse, this is your first condition. So, and then you can start adding in the first light beacon. And look at, we're underneath, what is that? That must be the US session. Yeah, that's US session. So we're already bearish. We already know we're bearish, right? So these are really good ways to get into these scalps and to get into these shorts that are really fast. And for newer traders, this is a really good setup because they're usually really fast trades and you're not sitting in drawdown most of the time. And when they do run, they run. So you can trail them and you can get into, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to be all like crazy in your mind. It's going to help your psychology, okay? And it's a very easy set of rules. So I hope this helps you. I'm going to post the link to the actual strategy video with this video.